Hello, this is Clemmy Games and welcome to a first look at Aven Colony, a sci-fi city builder developed by Mothership Entertainment and released on Steam in July 2017. For disclosure, I received this game for free. Coming from the two previous videos on Kingdoms and Castles and Solar Settlers, I thought that it was a neat coincidence that I happened to have a game which took aspects from the two, combining them into a city building game set on an alien planet. While pretty impressive for a 4-man indie game, Aven Colony does have some issues, but at its core, it is a competent city builder with a number of unique aspects. You are the governor of a colony on the alien planet of Aven Prime, and are tasked with building up the settlement in order to achieve certain objectives, such as to build an Earth History Center, establishing a cultural link between the colony and Mother Earth, or to establish a sustainable mining colony in the Sandy Gulch area of the planet. While functional, the campaign or story mode wasn't so much about telling an overall narrative as it is about tutorializing most of the game and guiding you through it through many smaller missions. I was not too engaged with the story, and with seemingly quite a number of structures already unlocked from the get-go, I felt that this lacked the progression factor in most other city building campaigns. To achieve said objectives, you have to have sufficient resources obtained through workers, and for these workers to be happy, you have to cater to their needs. There are several things to keep track of at the bottom of the interface, which, from left to right, are food supply, water supply, storage capacity, air quality, nanites, and power. Food and water are self-explanatory, as lacking in either of these will cause unhappiness amongst your citizens, and will eventually cause them to die if there is a shortage in the long run. Interestingly, the food system is a little more in-depth as compared to other city builders, where citizens actually demand a variety of food options. When building farms or greenhouses, you must actually specify what crop you want to grow, whether it be rice or wheat, or watermelons or corn, with each type of crop being affected differently due to the terrain. You can also choose to mine and use potash as a fertilizer, which will increase their productivity. Storage capacity is also self-explanatory, where you have to build additional warehouses to store your items, and I thought that it was interesting that at any time, you could bring up the inventory of the total amount of resources that the colony has. Air quality was my one main issue in my first mission, as building structures like mines and geothermal generators would cause the air quality to deteriorate. To improve air quality, you must install exhaust fans or air filters, although I have no idea whether their effects are localized or would affect the entire colony no matter where they were built. Speaking of which, the game does state that the entire colony must be connected through the use of tunnels, which function identically to roads in other city builders, and these can carry people, power, and air throughout. However, unlike other games where traffic management is an issue, Aven Colony does perhaps simplify it a little too much. For example, you do not see drones carrying mined metal from the mine to the storage building, which results in the colonies feeling a little lifeless, as compared to one of my favorite classic city builders in Pharaoh, which has quite a number of people going about their daily lives on screen. Citizen happiness is a factor that you have to keep in mind, since these affect your legitimacy of rule. Aven Colony has a simplified political system in that referendums are held and you must have at least 50% of the votes to remain as governor. I think that there might be a game over condition if you do lose the vote, so there is every incentive to keep an eye on this meter. Happiness is affected by factors such as how close the residences are to workplaces, how much crime there is, the air quality, the variety of food, etc., and there are many built-in overlays to help you target problematic areas in your colony. Additionally, you can provide various amenities such as parks and shopping malls to keep your citizens happy as well. The light governance system here also extends to the implementation of governing policies. One which I found particularly useful was the auto repair function on the drones, which allowed idle drones to repair any damaged buildings at the cost of several nanites per year. There are stricter policies such as forced overtime and making your citizens conserve power, but generally I found that the negatives of these outweighed the positives. The addition of policies was a pretty smart idea, but I do hope to see a more fleshed out version of this either in other games or in future patches. Nanites are your main currency in the game, which is required to do everything from the construction of buildings to the implementation of certain policies. I thought that it was a convenient way for the developer to streamline the building aspect rather than having to worry about wood and stone and all of that. However, you do have to convert mined iron, copper or calco sludge into nanite through a separate building, and I found the balancing around nanite to be a little lacking, since this was the one resource that I always needed when expanding my colony but never had enough of. To make things worse, mineral deposits like iron are also limited, so you might run into a scenario where you are unable to build any further, as was the case in my experience towards the end of the first mission. Finally, power is a crucial part of your colony, as all buildings will require it to function. To generate power, you can build wind turbines, solar farms, geothermal generators, and electrical batteries, all of which have their own advantages and disadvantages. This does tie into the seasonal clock that the game has, in that most crucially, several types of structures do not work in winter, such as solar farms, and even regular food growing farms. As a result, I did find myself mostly relying on wind turbines and greenhouses, which work regardless of the season. On top of all of these, we do have additional factors to consider as well, such as immigration centers, which bring citizens from the colony ship to the surface of the planet, a trading hub which allows you to trade resources with the colony ship, and research labs and chemical plants to synthesize new goods that can be made from inedible alien plants which you can grow on the planet. To expand your base, construction drone hubs must be built, since you can only build additional buildings within their range, and in a similar fashion, scrubber and police drones are used to fend off alien spores and to police the colony respectively. You can build defensive buildings such as lightning towers to absorb lightning strikes and to prevent them from damaging your buildings. Later on in the game, there are insurgencies to fight and missions that you can send your citizens out to, so there is quite a wide variety of things to do. However, I thought that the sci-fi setting was underutilized, since for the most part, many of the factors here were very familiar, from the mining of minerals found on Earth to the growing of food found on Earth as well. There are only a limited number of examples of alien fauna here, which is an aspect which I am always keen to see in sci-fi games, since this contributes to the world building. While graphically beautiful, the world of Aven Prime did not really feel that unique or alien to me. Perhaps narratively, it would make sense to find another planet similar to Earth to colonize, but I just wish that there was more variety in the experience here. Nevertheless, Aven Colony is a meaty city builder with plenty to do. There are certain aspects which are quite interesting and unique, although I feel that certain areas can be streamlined while others could be expanded upon. In my time with the game, I did have fun, so if you are looking to colonize a new world, maybe check this one out. Anyway, that will do it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Leave a comment if you like. Thanks again, and I will see you in the next video.